on the other side of winners top 8. Let's get right into it. We are going to see the stadium pick. I like this pick right now. Both of these characters appreciating a lot of space to set up their relative traps, their relative projectiles, and you can see already the side B burst utilizing the reflecting quality on it in order, and you know, a lot of percent has been taken already. 86% unanswered. Thank you, Brandon. We're going to see this is a, you know, Train has got to be careful not to try and overextend too much here. He's going to be in a really, really tricky spot if Burst takes this stock fairly easily, but Train doing an excellent job getting him into this ledge trapping situation here, calling out the jump with the forward air, and suddenly it's even percent. That 89% that was once unanswered has very much been answered by Train, and we are going to see he can do this. The neutral B just about avoiding the gyro, and the forward air burst just slowly but surely. You know, the edge guarding against Samus is a bit of a war of attrition. If you've got to go and just hit them a little bit away 6, 7, 8 times, that's the way you've got to do it. You cannot afford to lack patience when it comes to edge guarding, particularly with Samus. And both these players are extremely high percents here. This is going to be fairly soon that both are going to be within kill throw. Kill throw percent. Dark Samus definitely already there. 182% right now, just about missing the grab. Train doing his best to keep his stock alive right now. And we can see already both of these players offering each other so much respect. This is such a delicate point in the set, and a lovely up tilt catching Burst's approach there. And 198% on Train right now. Train is going to be doing his best to extend this lead bit by bit by bit. And that charge shot going straight through the gyro. Burst not quite catching the jump with the back air. A little bit too late on the execution there. And the gyro taking out the percent at 200 plus. Absolutely ridiculous survivability on both of these characters, I must say. So getting those stocks early is going to be crucial in catching and maintaining that lead. Lovely up B out of shield, a very much bread and butter out of shield option, and Train already adapting to that side B, taking the short hop over and managing to punish him perfectly. All excellent stuff. Not quite at up throw kill percent yet. Although it was buffed, it's still not quite the crazy kill throw that we see on certain other characters. Train anticipating some kind of approach, but Burst not giving it to him. Yeah. You can hear the mash, but it wasn't quite enough. 54% on Train right now. A very sizable lead, given how high of a percent he lived to in that first stock. But it's going to be up to Burst to see. Good DI by Train. Rob's up there notoriously difficult to DI. Without a bit of practice, of course. And Burst going for the classic. Trying to get him there. That was a beautiful drift. A little bit too far, unfortunately, and that is, by all things considered, a very early stock taken from Train by Burst. Really excellent. Dead even percent right now. These two so evenly matched. Yeah, and Train going for a lot of these jabs to pivot grab, sorry. And, you know, it works for the first couple of times, but Burst has definitely caught onto that habit right now. Ooh, and a lovely aggressive landing there, and unfortunately that landing was not to be. 1-0 to Burst so far. Really solid stuff in the set. Both of these players giving each other a lot of respect, respecting the tools that each other have, and trying to make the most of whenever they manage to get in on each other right now. Train unfortunately lost a stock fairly early in that first game. Strange to say that 100% is fairly early, but here we are. And going back to Stadium 2, again, sort of the platform layout allows both these players to have their escape options, to have those mix-ups, whilst at the same time, you know, the long and flat stage means that they've actually managed to keep away. And speaking of early stocks, my goodness, a very, very aptly put down air means that Train lost the stock at 40%, and Burst at the time was to be unanswered. This is a very, very big lead for Burst right now. 69% on Train, trying to get that back air to decisively end it, but he chooses to do it with another down air, 27%. You would not believe how close game one was if you were watching this just now. Train is going to have to pull some kind of miracle out of his bag of tricks in order to be able to get this comeback. Almost at this point, it might just be worth Train sort of trying to pick up on some habits, trying to condition some options. And you can see Burst. Burst is a man, if he is feeling himself, he will go for style over substance. Ooh, and jumping into that neutral B, and this is a really, really tricky spot. Train just managing to weave around that down air. Landing with the nair, shielding the gyro, taking it out of play here. Lovely parry, the spot dodge though, anticipating that grab attempt. You know, one grab, one back air, one conversion, and it is just over for Train. He is playing, whereas Burst has he's got stocks to spare. He is ready. A lovely little footstool there. Anticipating that jump, but Burst manages to get up air. Burner with back air, not quite working out. You can see Train, somewhat of a desperate charge shot there, all the way across the stage. Burst had all the time in the world to react. Trying to go for that tech chase. It not quite working out. Lovely up B, there we go. Managing to get that first stock at 168%. The up tilt no longer converting into the up air. Ooh, lovely stuff. Bit of SDI there, managing to get out from that. And it's over. It's done. 2-0 so far to Burst. This is a real change from game one. Both of them sort of a much slower pace in that game one, but that game two, Burst taking two considerably earlier stocks.
Stock battle. Raw Samus.
So we are going to see the same two characters. Train, I don't believe, known to have any other characters available right now to his disposal. And we are going to see Battlefield. I do like the pick. Train probably looking for an option that allows him to extend that combo game. You know, Samus using, you know, the up airs and the up Bs, you know, really being able to extend the combo and taking it from... Yeah, go for it. Being able to take it, and you can see a much more decisive lead here for Train than perhaps we've seen across the set. You know, obviously game one being fairly close, game two being a bit of a wash. And we're going to see if Train can manage to get this lead. Remember, and the second down tilt just pushing him off, meaning he couldn't get that forward smash. That probably would have been the KO. By these players. Oh my goodness, excellent read. Burst panicking, deciding to try and go as high as he could, but Train met him up there with that up B, and a very, very early stop taken. A lot of a lead here. The burner boost back end not quite managing to caught him on the first one, but didn't quite manage to KO. Yeah, and the down tilt, down smash covering a lot of options. Really, really lovely drift coming out from Train, managing to avoid both the gyro and Burst's attempt of an offstage edge guard. Really, really solid stuff. And you can see here Burst being sniffed out by Train. Those defensive options being called out as this lead grows ever and ever bigger. Down tilt on shield. What can you do? And down air sealing that Burst stop. See it already. Burst attempting a lot of these nairs, and Train knowing that it is not a safe option for Rob. Burst anticipating that mix-up there. Train obviously giving him, you know, a small amount of respect, but Burst knowing that he dropped straight back down after that failed attempt on the up B. get an offstage edge guard, and oh my goodness, a beautiful, beautiful tech from Burst. That was wild, the double spike. But Burst having that advantage, and then suddenly what was a very fast lead for Train is slowly but surely slipping away from his clutches. And if he stands any chance of keeping his life alive and winner's side, he has got to find something. He's got to find the KO, and then he's got to find some good conversions. You know, Rob living to a real high percent here. Ooh, the shield poke with the up air, but not quite being enough. Burst really taking care with all of his options. He really does not want to lose the stock before he has to. And you can see he's giving Train so much respect. That lingering hitbox on the side B, catching Train unaware. Oh, beautiful, beautiful conversion. Catching him with that back air, and a decisive 3-0 to Burst. Making his way into the winners finals to have his shot against Black Twins. Truly excellent gameplay. Good stuff to Burst.